Welcome to day 5 of Awaken Your Intuitive Psychic Within. Today we're going to take things to a new layer where we're going to introduce spiritual tools. It's so imperative that as you are developing your intuition and strengthening your psychic skills, that you have a spiritual tool that you use. Today we're going to be using oracle cards. Oracle cards act as a gorgeous gateway to be able to open up that line of communication between your soul and that human part of ourself. The human mind doesn't always have the capacity to fully understand and grasp what it is that our soul is trying to communicate to us, and therefore oracle cards act as a vehicle to open up that line of communication that we may not always understand from a logical standpoint. Remember, the human part of us wants to be able to have rational logic and everything planned and mapped out. Intuition works on a much more subtle way. It gives us insight and guidance and wisdom and can share with us if we're on the right track or what lesson is being revealed to us. There's no question that can't be answered through oracle cards. And this is where, as you will have heard me say many times throughout this video series, that I use a model with my students inside my program, which is called CPR, consistency, persistence, and repetition. When you are wanting to strengthen your intuition and open up that line to really delve more deeply and really connect in with that psychic skills within your own self, you need to be able to have something that you can practice all the time. Oracle cards is something that is fun, it's enjoyable, it shares and reveals with us things that we may not be able to see from a human logical standpoint, and therefore can guide us back to what is our own soulful truth that we may not always interpret right at the very beginning. When we just sort of, if you don't have, and I don't want to use this too strongly, but if you don't have a spiritual tool and you're sitting there and you're just waiting for intuitive guidance to come through, a lot of the time what's going to happen is that you're going to either dismiss it, you're not going to feel confident, you're not going to trust it because you haven't developed it. Whereas if you have a tool that you can use on a go-to consistent basis and practice every single day, guess what that's going to do? That's going to strengthen your level of trust. It's going to help you to be able to either see, hear, feel, or know the guidance that your soul is giving to you. And it's so direct because you've got something tangible that you can sit in your hand and go, now I've got this, now I understand it. But if you just sit there and just wait for that intuitive guidance to come along, guess what? A lot of the times you are not going to trust it. This is where oracle cards act as not only just the gateway, but it acts as this defining point that helps us develop our level of trust. And as you would have heard me say many times, the two biggest reasons that we don't follow our intuition is lack of trust and a busy mind. Oracle card comes in and immediately interrupts that fear-based thoughts and those limitations that we have. Oracle cards act as the gateway to be able to communicate to our intuition, and something that our human mind can find logic and rational, and this is where we get this beautiful mesh between having an alignment between our intuitive soul self and this human counterpart within ourself. So for this exercise, all I want for you to do is just sit there and close your eyes just for a moment and just take a big deep breath in. And now when you open them, you're going to see that there is an oracle card right here. All I want for you to do is to be able to tune in and become more consciously aware of what is activated first within you. Is there something visually on the card that just really stands out for you? Is it the colors, the girl's face, the imagery, anything else that's on the card? Or do you hear that as you read the bottom of the card message that it deeply connects with you on a sound level? Or is there a feeling that just resonates within some area within your physical body? Or is there just a deep inner knowingness that connects you to this card that you just go, yeah, I get this? Each one of these senses gives us insight into what is our strongest way in which our communication communicates to us, and this is where it becomes vital. Once you understand what is your strongest sense, this is where we can learn to develop it on an even deeper level. So for now, all I want for you to do is just have a look at that card. What resonates with you? What comes up for you? Are there any other stories or excuses or limitations or fears or doubts that resonate when this card comes up? Is there a spark of inspiration or feeling really deeply connected to this card, as if it's soulfully talking to you? Each one of these is going to give you a new level of insight into feeling into your own self. And as you know, feelings are important because they give us an understanding around maybe what some of the lessons are, what the message is, what our learning can be. So I want you to feel into what comes up for you as you connect with this card. From here, I would love for you to be able to go into your journal and write down, what was it that deeply connected with you? Was it the sight? Was there something visual? Was there an internal conversation that you had with yourself? Was there a feeling? And if it was, where did it resonate within your physical structure, or that deep inner knowingness? And I just want you to be able to write what it was that first initially you connected with. Then be able to go through and discover what was triggered within you when you saw this card, and how does that connect with what is currently going on within your world. This is where we integrate, and as you know, everything is about layering. Not only do you have this gorgeous, insightful message that's coming through from the oracle card, but it's connecting with you on a physical level, and therefore we then get to write, where we get another layer of dimension added in to be able to take that message to an even deeper level for you to grasp a really confident message for you. And remember, there is no right or wrong, and each person will interpret the cards so very differently, but will have an overall current theme that runs through every single person. But this way we get to dig in a little bit deeper and discover more about who you are and what's going on in your world, and be able to see that your intuition is guiding you every single step of the way. This is where you will now understand the significance of having a spiritual tool, something that you can use on a day-to-day level, something that is tangible, something that's going to help you build confidence, be able to track your progress, and be able to give you, it's like having a super close girlfriend with you all the time that is acting on your behalf to be able to share with you your journey. Remember, your soul knows exactly where you need to be and what you need to do as part of your purpose and plan here on this earth. It's sometimes our human part gets stuck in the way and likes to take us sometimes off pathway, but if we can get a beautiful union between both this human part and our mind and find rational and logic, and along with our intuitive place, we have this gorgeous alignment that shows up. So please continue to practice using oracle cards. If you don't have a deck of oracle cards, you'll see that on my personal page, on my Facebook page, there is always a card that is put up every single day. Tune into that, develop that, see what comes up, but just please, most importantly, practice, practice, practice. Consistency, persistence, and repetition is how we build strength around our intuition with our own human self, and it helps us to be able to build more and more strength and within our levels of trust. And if we trust, we have more confidence in doing this. And remember, have some fun. There are going to be times that you play with your oracle cards and everything just runs gorgeously, and then there'll be other times, depending on where your energy's at, and this is where we get to have another layer brought in, is that every time you touch your oracle cards, you're bringing forth the energy of where you're at. So always remember to, when you're journaling, also just sort of write a little bit about where your energy is at. What were some of the thoughts? What are some of the things that are going on in your world, which will help you also understand the meaning of what is coming through in this oracle card message for you. So as always, much love, take care, and enjoy having fun with your spiritual tools. around using oracle cards.